Another nice weather day, although apparently there's a huge fire, I guess, a little further east. It's this restaurant that's actually caught on fire a couple of times. Makes you wonder if it's being set off intentionally. With that in mind, what did I read today? And in terms of intentional, this is definitely intentional. The war between Russia and Ukraine continues, and this time Ukraine sent their drones to attack, and it caused chaos around the airports and stuff again. It says Moscow airports temporarily closed after Ukraine drone attacks. As it says here, a sustained Ukrainian drone attack on Russia caused Moscow's major airports to be temporarily closed and saw at least 140 flights cancelled, officials said. More than 230 Ukrainian drones were downed over Russia since Saturday morning, including 27 over the capital, according to the Russian Defense Ministry. According to Russia's aviation watchdog, the 4 major airports serving the capital were disrupted and more than 130 flights also had to be redirected. All have since resumed normal operations. Meanwhile, at least 3 people were killed during Russian airstrikes in Ukraine overnight, according to regional officials. Russia's Association of Tour Operators said on Sunday that Moscow airports were closed 10 times in 24 hours due to the strikes. Are people actually comfortable traveling during times like these, especially in those areas? It says the Kaluga region, southwest of Moscow, was also affected. Russia's defense ministry said it had intercepted 45 drones since Saturday morning, resulting in Kaluga International Airport also being temporarily closed. Russia's defense ministry said drones were also shot down over regions near the Ukrainian border, including Rostov and Bryansk, as well as over the Black Sea. No fatalities were reported. Non-stop battle again, and of course there's countries looking for ways to take down drones, especially when they're firing hundreds of them. And how about this one? This one here says Chinese arms firm displays arsenal of unmanned ground warfare equipment. A top Chinese arms firm on Sunday released a video displaying an arsenal of drones and anti-drone techs in the ground domain, with an expert saying that China has successfully developed a complete system in unmanned warfare equipment, focusing on manned-unmanned integration, forming an even more complete system of coordinated combat. The video, released by the state-owned Norinco Group, showed multiple types of unmanned equipment in action, including robot dogs, unmanned vehicles of different sizes equipped with different weapons and equipment, fixed-wing drones, and unmanned helicopters. It also provided footage of how anti-drone equipment such as air defense missiles, anti-aircraft artilleries, and high-energy lasers shoot down drones. That's pretty much a whole high-tech army, I guess you could say, in many ways. It goes on to say too, according to the developer, it has formed a family of unmanned aerial vehicles covering high, medium, and low altitudes, as well as far, medium, and close ranges. These drones are in different configurations, such as fixed wing and rotor wing, and they are capable of both reconnaissance and attack missions. When it comes to drone defense, the company has built a comprehensive anti-drone system featuring multiple layers of defense with both soft kill and hard kill capabilities, highlighted by air defense missiles, anti-aircraft artilleries, and laser weapons. It doesn't seem so far-fetched now, huh? In terms of robots doing all the war and battling, which makes you think too, if something goes wrong with the command, for example, like with all this AI talk and so forth, can you imagine that, where you can't control any of this stuff? It's basically just like something out of the movie. And this was kind of an interesting bit going online a lot. Apparently recently there was a WNBA All-Star game, and what happened was apparently the players were all wearing this shirt. As you can see, it says "Pay us what you owe us." So my assumption is they want to get paid similar on the level of what people in the NBA make, for example, like the male players. And with that, you can imagine a lot of people are debating about this topic, whether or not they're entitled, it makes sense, is it an organization taking advantage of people? So I was trying to read some basic financial information about the company, wondering, for example, is this a case where it's like a million, multi-billion or whatever company making all this money and they're not paying people, for example, anything, so they're being like greedy per se? But according to all the stuff I read, it says this league has been losing millions of dollars per season, about $40 to $50 million, and it says it makes about $200 million in annual revenue. But you can imagine with all the expenses and so forth, I guess, they're basically not profitable overall. And with some of the statistics I'm reading, it says in 2024, the average salary for a WNBA player was $147,745, which went up because in 2023 it was $113,000 on average. So when you think about that, That doesn't sound like a lot compared to what some people you hear make in the NBA, millions for example. And apparently a 2-year deal for a player is about $70,000 in terms of the minimum, and the maximum was about $252,000. That's for their top players. And a rookie could earn somewhere between what, 76 to 78,000 in their first year. So it's not the figures you would expect from, let's just say, a star athlete per se, compared to, again, I guess their male counterparts. But it's that debate too. If the organization is bleeding money in general, do they have a right, I guess, to demand millions and millions of dollars if people just aren't as interested in the product in that regards? That's what the argument is. So I guess it's kind of like saying, even if you work for a company and they're not profitable, they should be paying you the appropriate, I guess, wage per se, like whatever the industry standard is. If you're working in a fast food restaurant and the business isn't making any money per se, then that's on them. Like, you should still get paid like the appropriate amount. I guess that's the argument. Whereas overall, in this case, you do kind of work in a more entertainment type of field where it relies on things like ticket sales and all that, and people contract them obviously to attract the crowd per se. So if they're not doing good, then the argument there is you getting paid what you're worth is they'll give you even less money because they're not profitable. Like, that's how some people are actually arguing this. All right, see you guys later.